And we're live. Just putting a few things together here for you guys. What you're looking at is the ruv.is live stream in the main big square there. And this multi-screen telemetry is coming to you from Volcano YT, a channel we've promoted extremely, and we suggest you, if you want the best coverage, to go over to Volcano YT to check out some of this coverage. Now, what we're looking at is the new eruptive phase on the Reykjanes Peninsula of the Fagradalsfjall Mountain, or the Reykjavik system. And we have a little bit of data to share with you today. So welcome to the program. Thanks to everyone coming in here. If you could just share this video on your social media now before we get started. That way we can get more people into the room. I just got my coffee made. I got some watering to do, so we can't stick around here that long. Bug Out Brad, welcome. You've changed your name quite a few times. You are now the Carnivore Canoe. He's got a new channel over there where he cooks meat by the campfire. That's at least what I thought it was. I think I looked at one episode. So go check out the Carnivore Canoe if you like to cook outdoors. Welcome to the show, Dana Green, wheelchair user 13. GOS 85. It'll take me a while to figure out how to unban you from that. I have to go and do other things, so that won't happen now. GOS. All the Sun, welcome to the show. Mama Dukes is in the house. Elton, Butterfield, and that's basically everyone I see on my end. It says we got 40 watching. Please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this on your social media so we can get maximum visibility here, and that's what we're looking for. All right, the first thing we want to talk about, and I'll just do a general overview here for you. Iceland was hit by a volcanic eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula near the capital city of Reykjavik following a recent seismic paroxysm that's really no longer going on now. Most of the seismicity has ended, and we will share with you those graphs in just a moment. But a fissure eruption was reported to have begun in an uninhabited area 19 miles from Reykjavik on Wednesday. And this is according to Iceland's meteorological office, but we were some of the first people to cover the eruption right as it was happening. Now, while the main airport in Keflavik was briefly put on alert at the beginning of the eruption, and this is in line with standard practice, no flights were canceled and the airport continues to operate. And the good news is that no lives or infrastructure are in danger at the present. But that could change, and we'll show you why. Because if this is a long enough lived eruption, then the lava could potentially either flow to the south across a highway and approaching a town, Grindavik, or to the north, cutting off the main highway from the Keflavik airport. So those are the two scenarios that are possible so far. And we are far away from that because the eruption has just gotten started. So this eruption, this fissure eruption, was assessed yesterday by Magnus Tumi Guðmundsson, a professor of geophysics in Iceland. And he is quoted saying that the new eruption is likely 5 to 10 times bigger than the previous fissure eruption, the one that we saw last year that lasted for around 6 months. This one is 5 to 10 times bigger, according to Magnus. And he also reiterates what we just said, that the new eruption poses no imminent threat to inhabitants, but it does pose a threat to stupid humans. And if you look real close on that live stream, what you're going to see is lots of people there. And I can get you a better view. So why don't we go do that? I'll get you the better view that you can look at. Where are we? All right, with all the people. So I'm going to stop sharing this and we'll share the close-up of the people. Good morning. Get your coffee. Oh, that's good. All right, now let's share this out. So this screen is going to allow you to get a better idea on all the people that are standing there. And which one is it? Is it this one or is it this one? Yep, it's Glendengalda. Glendengalda. Okay, so now if you take a look right behind and left of the fissure eruption, and let me blow this up for you. So go to the far left end of the eruption and then go look on that little peninsula and look at some of those white dots, some of those black dots. Those are people. There's a car up here driving around. There's a parking area up here on the ridge. We'll show you where all this is on the topo as soon as I bring up the topo. So one question, am I eating? I look skinny. Jennifer, I've never been fat, so I've always weighed 160 pounds my entire life. I've never been thin, and I've never been fat. I am, in fact, quite healthy. All right, so a couple other things we want to notice from this eruption. The amount of lava that's come out just in the last 24, now 36 hours. It's now flowing down and out of that valley to the north. You can all see that there right by the cars. So a couple other updates here I want to talk about just to bring you up to speed. And this is the newest update coming out on Fagradalsfall volcano. So the spatter ramparts and spatter cones are now forming along the fissure. And all that means is that there is lava that is drying, forming rims, and maybe small mini-looking cinder cones, which are called spatter cones. So the effusive eruption has not stopped. It continued through last night. And in fact, the fissure itself is now smaller, albeit much more active and aggressive, with some of the highest fountaining since the beginning of the event happening now. Now, the effusive eruption contains a continuous curtain of fire. That's what many people are calling this. And it has already been building elongated, steep-sided ridges. And this is due to the piling up of hot juvenile and plastic lava fragments that then solidify. And they call these spatter ramparts. Pretty exciting. Now, the first estimated lava flow rate, based on what we're looking at here, is 20 to 50 cubic meters per second. So that is quite a bit of lava. And if you just multiply that through for millions of seconds, well, that's billions of meters of lava. So 20 to 50 cubic meters per second is the current rate of effusive eruption. And this is a pretty good view here we'll give you at the Langholch. This is coming from roof.is, and I will have to blow this up for you. I'll give you another view. And this gives you one of the best visuals of the fissure itself. And this is because it is upwind. And so the wind is directly behind the curtain. Ooh, and you can see some really good splashing going on there. You can also see the scale of the eruption because of how close the vehicles are. And if you look up on the hill in the back to the left, you can see people going up that steep incline. So it's going to take a very long time for this lava to move anywhere significant to cause potential damage. And this is a boon for the tourist industry in Iceland. And in fact, the moment that the eruption began, that next morning, several of the airline stocks in Iceland popped quite considerably because they know what this means. Now, a fissure eruption like this can last for months. Well, it could last for days. It could last for weeks. It could last for months. It could even last for years. And based on this same volcano's last eruptive period, which was last year, it went on for 6 months. So, and brought a lot of money to Iceland. And this is going to do the same thing because now they have most of the infrastructure set up here. There's parking lots, there's toilets, there's trails. And this area is just to the north of the original eruption. Now, before I show you the maps and the topo and where the lava may potentially go, if you had a very thick iron ladle, could you hold a small amount of lava without it melting? Absolutely not, Darlene Dodson. The melting point, the temperature of this lava is the melting point of rock. It's above 1600 degrees, which is well above the melting point for metal, which is why some of the earliest metal tools were in the beginning, we're just melting them with fire, regular wood fire. So this stuff is very hot. They do make special equipment to take samples of lava with like tongs and dippers, but they're not made of iron. They're God knows what that polymer is. I'm still echoing. Nobody told me there was an echo. Oh, okay. So most people say there's no echo. So no, this is such a minor eruption. This is not going to affect the climate in any way. No, this is a very minor blip. And this is just a geologic phenomenon that's quite spectacular that we can witness in real time and share around the world live stream. There's so many cameras up there. There's no echo. So some people are just going a little crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is share that topo and in relation. So this fissure is at the far northern edge of the last eruption that ended after 6 months of continuous lava flow. And we're going to share you the best topo I could find. And I'm sure there are no better topos than this particular one. And that's a boom. So here we are at the Fagradalsfjall volcanic eruption is what they've named it. And it's called the Fagradalsfjall volcano because this mountain here, the big plateau that we saw people climbing up to the top of there on the edge of the fissure is called Fagradalsfjall Mountain. When this is actually the Kreisuvik Throlignaia volcanic en echelon system of fissures, they've renamed it Fagradalsfjall for no apparent reason. When this is not even a volcano, it's just a plateau. And it was formed during the last ice age when this was covered with an ice sheet and this same kind of thing was happening under the ice. It formed this plateau. So that's your geologic history of the day. Now, the numbers you're looking at here, first of all, the orange is the extent of all of the last eruption from last year. And the main vents are listed there. You can see 5, 3, 6, 4, 2 in the triangles. These are the vents from the eruption from last year. Now, this eruption is taking place right near here. Holy macaroni. So it's in fact, let's blow this up for you viewers out there. It's in fact taking place right here on this tongue. So there's some cars parked right here. There's some cars parked up on top of the plateau, and we see people running up and down this incline. And the fissure is right here in the center of this old lava flow, and the lava has now flowed and completely filled this area. So that's the area we're seeing filled, and some of it looked like it tried to get around the corner here and stopped. Whoops. So some of the lava looked like it tried to get around the corner. Most of it's filling this valley. People are parking up here and down here. And then I'll go back to some of the video where I can show you what that looks like in real life. Okay? We just have to find the right angle. Okay, that's good. All right, so the area I said was filling with lava is right here. The plateau up to the left where they're parking is here. There's the slope they're walking up, and there's still just a very little small area of the flat, which will eventually be covered probably by tomorrow. Here is where I showed you the lava tried to get around the corner of this other peak, and it dried up and stopped. So the majority of this is now going to flow to the north and pool out here in this low valley. And it would take a very long time to advance to the highway to Keflavik, in my opinion. Jimmy's in the house. Jackie Tiger. Ryan Richards is here. Naby. Lana loves Jesus. Trevor York. The dumbstruck are all out there walking around. We just pointed out all the people in the center here. These are all people out here. Cars up top here pulling in. These are all people on the edge of the lava field. And you can see the difference. This cooled red lava is from the old eruption. The fresh black is the new eruption. And there's the delineation line there. You can see how it tried to get around here a little bit. But the majority of it is now flowing to the north and out. And so we have 208 watching on 2 channels. Thank you all for coming. Please share this on your social media to get people some links and up to speed maybe on what's going on. Jimmy, you didn't miss anything. This is a pretty low-level eruption. Now, the significance of this fissure eruption is pretty simple. It hasn't erupted for this region in the Reykjavik area, in the Reykjanes Ridge. It hasn't erupted since a very long time ago, 1400, and before that, 1200 AD. So it's been 600 plus years since there's been eruptions here. We've had now 2, and it's been erupting for over 6 months in this region continuously, and now we have this new one that's begun. And if you go look in the historical context of this Reykjanes Peninsula, when in prior large eruptions like this, other large volcanoes erupt at the same time. We're talking VEI 4, 5, and 6 type volcanoes like Grimsvötn, Austria, Bardabunga, just to name a few. And we have had alert levels rise on Austria, and just the other day on Grimsvötn or Grimsfjall. So do volcanoes with their alert levels raised that have the potential to change the climate on Earth. And now we have this fissure eruption. So that's why it's significant. It's also significant because it's an amazing geologic phenomenon that most people will never witness in their lifetime, which is why these people run right down to get right there to take a look. That is one hot parking lot, Crown Land Productions. Patricia Rogers is in the house. Good morning. Margaret Creamer, hi. Thank you, Jimmy, for sharing that on Facebook. Tammy Radfield with the big boom this morning. We appreciate that super chat from the bottom of our hearts. Mama Duke says, yeah, that's what we did in Hawaii. We went right up to it. Yeah, these are very similar volcanoes. They're both shield type volcanoes with very similar lava. It doesn't move too quick. It's not highly viscous, so it's not explosive. And it takes a very long time to cool. Truth Surfer says, finally got in. Great show. Oh, Trevor, I just answered your question. It depends on the type of lava. But the lava in La Palma that erupted last year, still hot under the surface. The surface is cool and you can walk on it. But if you just go down 18 inches, it is 1,000 degrees. So depending on where you are, now La Palma is a very warm area, so it doesn't get cold. There's not a lot of cold temperatures cooling the lava. Clearly, if you cover lava with snow and ice, like would happen here in Iceland, it will cool much faster. But once lava gets a crust on it, like the black crust you see here, it acts as an insulator. Very similar to outdoor pool blankets. So if you've ever had your own pool in your backyard, above ground or in the ground, they sell these bubble wrap cloths that you can put on top of your pool at night to prevent the heat from coming out. And that's the same as the dark, cooled crust on a lava flow, doing the same thing. So a little bit of interesting geology there early in the morning. Yes, this is a moss fire gone wild, Ben. Are other areas of Iceland near volcanoes still quaking? Good question. And Tammy, as soon as you're annoyed by seeing your face up there, just tell me and I'll remove that. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to share you the live seismo from the peninsula. Well, someone said the whole country. But we'll start with the peninsula. So here's the Reykjanes Peninsula live, real time today. And you can see that the number of large quakes is still happening. We just had a 3.4 about 5 hours ago. But overall, the number of quakes is reduced by a factor of 10. There's almost no activity like was happening before right now. And that's because the fissure is open and the magma is flowing and everything is calming down. No more uplift, no more flexure. So the seismicity is reducing. Now, if we look at all regions, the whole country as a whole looks pretty much the same. Increased activity at Grimsvolten, and now we have activity at Bardabunga, and there's activity at Astja, and there's activity, I think this is Hengil. So a lot of the big volcanoes, we have activity to the Turnus fracture zone, but just not a significant amount. So let's go over at the Vatnajökull here. I'm going to take you over to that glacier where we can see Astja up here. There's some activity going on there, and both at Bardabunga, Grimsvolten. So, but not a lot. It's very sparse. So there's no imminent eruption from any other volcano. And in general, the seismicity in Iceland for the last 24 hours has quieted down for the whole country. So people are quite happy. It's been over 24 hours since a magnitude 4 or greater has occurred. And that includes a 4.2 and then 4.6 here, or 4.8. So that's good news for Iceland. Thank you, Tammy, for the super chat once again. Melinda Biddle's in the house, and that's a boom. Thank you, Jerry Armitage, for sharing. I wonder how long does the lava stay hot? We already answered that. Trevor, in Iceland, it's colder, so slow movement cools quickly. All right, I'm trying to get to... Gio asks, how come I can see your chats if you're banned? That's what I want to know. If I can see you in the chat room, how are you banned from the chat room? Please explain that. Ben says, has there been any large quake still? We just went over every quake in the last 36 hours. The harmonic tremor is dropping. The mountains are the crown of the land, and that's a Saturn type of boom. No idea what that means. Joe Marcato says, Diamond, thank you for being on point. Thank you for saying I am. I have Pink Floyd in background, according to Jackie Tiger. Trevor already answered that. Do you think this will lead to something with the boom? Historically, yes. There has been a large eruption that occurs simultaneously with the Reykjanes volcano fissure eruption. Raven Kiefer says, Mahe Ohana, Ohna, Ahana, favor all. However you say that. Aloha, Raven Kiefer. It's true you learn something new every day, says No Rush. Yeah, and hiking out on that trail, I'm sure you learn something new every day. Now, don't you, No Rush? Okay. YouTubers Dutch Sense is tracking the earthquakes, and Terrell Blackstar is tracking Planet X. Well, there is no Planet X coming in, so Terrell Blackstar is apparently has a mental health issue, and Dutch Sense cannot predict earthquakes. He simply tracks them. So he just shows you where they are. He's been doing this for 10 years, and people give him hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to pay for his palatial condo because he makes you feel safe. I don't know. Buy a teddy bear, for fuck's sake. I love Jimmy Dore. I liked him when he was a liberal. I like him now when he's more conservative and he's on his own show and he's drunk half the time. Yeah, I like Jimmy Dore. I like about 75% of what he says. I hope that Lockie doesn't erupt again like it did before. Thank you all for being in the chat. We got 242 in the house. Someone says, where is this? Well, Tracy, you really need to get up to speed. You could just read the title, maybe, of the live stream and figure that out. Okay, because I'm not that fun to look at. Let's bring up something fun to look at. We'll do the multi-screen. Coming in here from Volcano YT. Yellow. All right. I got a meeting in a few minutes. So if we have any more questions, Tracy, this is on the Reykjanes Peninsula, 18 miles from Reykjavik in Iceland, the western part of the island. Don't know when I go from live to top. My comments are gone. All right, I'll take a look, Geo S85, after the live broadcast. Does every volcano in Iceland share a main feeder tube from deep down? No, they're all separate, and that's what separates the volcanic systems, especially on the Reykjanes Peninsula. Each system, this is the Reykjavik system, is connected to all of the fissure eruptions in this region. So each has its own volcanic conduit. They go down deep into the mantle, because remember, the mid-ocean ridge runs directly through Iceland from the Tyrannus fracture zone diagonally down. A lot of you have no idea what I just said there, so I will simply bring up a picture that will make sense to you. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up the USGS map here, and we'll bring up Iceland, and this will be very clear for you. Do a little bit more geology for y'all. Okay, now I'm going to have to share that with you. Lots of buttons to click here. My goodness. All right. Here we are at the USGS map, and you can see Iceland is up here off the southeast coast of Greenland, right there. And you can see this red line that goes up to the North Pole, straight down here through the equator and down towards Antarctica. This is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. And this is a plate boundary where there is spreading going on. And on this region, we have a direct connection to the mantle. Now, it goes right through the island of Iceland, the country of Iceland, right here, that mid-ocean ridge. And take a look at where it comes right through here on Reykjanes. So this is where we're having the eruption right now, right on this red line. And when you have eruptions right on the mid-ocean ridge line, you know you have a direct conduit to the mantle, which means this could erupt in forever because there is no deficit of molten material at depth in the earth, especially if you can get directly to the mantle. Right here. And then this goes through the Vatnajökull Glacier, where we've got Bardabunga and Grimsvötn, and comes up here, where Astja is, and then up into the Tjörnes fracture zone. So most of the big volcanoes lie on this line right here. And the one we're seeing erupt right now is fissure eruptions here in the Reykjanes, right on the mid-ocean ridge. Pretty fascinating. It seems rare earth isn't rare at all, just a matter of technology to harvest is in wrong hands in China and Ukraine. It doesn't even, not even a question, barely a sentence. Virginia Schauble is in the house. The Mud Star, Halo. Kyle Blackman in the house. Nothing as it seems. 25% climate nonsense. Julie, Artfully Open, is in the house. Tracy is vaxxed, according to No Rush. Okay. Oh, dear. Jimmy Dore is awesome, says Paul Revere. Here's some, Frank. Have a great day, everyone. Loves and hugs from Ireland. Good morning, beautiful people. Dabs, not jabs. Thank you, Diamond, for an excellent class today. All right. No more questions here. It is a fact that some of these so-called moderators treat the chat rooms as their own and go too far. Well, what do you mean by that, Kyle Blackman? I make almost everyone a moderator that's been around that I recognize. And what is going too far? What would you allow, Kyle Blackman, on your channel? And by the way, feel free to start your own channel, Kyle Blackman, and let people say whatever they want. And we'll see how that goes. Pyramid shape when the live camera swung left. Yeah, there's lots of things shaped like pyramids on Earth. Doesn't mean it's a pyramid. Okay, we're going to go back to the live stream for you. And we'll do the multi-screen so it's fun. There it is. Boom. And then we can see all the people sitting here in front, just staring out there, getting good shots. Now, if the wind shifts here, you could be screwed, especially if you don't know that this is some toxic gases here. That was a pretty good splash there. That one went up about 90 feet, maybe 80 feet. So what we can see is that the volcano, the fissure, which used to be 1,000 feet long or more, has now consolidated and is now just a few hundred feet wide. And some of the older spatter cones from last night here have now cooled. And so the fissure is consolidating into one tight area, which is going to be more active with more splashing and with higher volume. Pretty fantastic. Now, we'll leave you links below to all these live streams. You don't have to watch live streams here on the channel. I just wanted to update you on some of the stuff going on there. And thank you all for joining us. Leah's sister's in town, so I've got to go to breakfast with them. Thank you all for joining me for Volcanic Coffee Talk. And if you have any questions, I'll be back on tonight. And we'll do another 30-minute or an hour live stream on the volcano. And I might put up some other videos and some other topics prior to that. So thanks all for coming. Please share this. Wow. It's getting fun out there. And we'll go out with about 5 minutes of the full screen live stream of the eruption. I don't know which is the better one there. That's a pretty good one. And please come over and support all these channels for what they're doing here. And thank you all for joining us. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom. And we'll see you later tonight.